December 18th committee meeting to order. Could we stand for the flag salute? Roger?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law by posting a notice of this meeting on the bulletin board in the municipal building and by publication in the Press of Atlantic City on January 9, 2017, and the Atlantic County Record on January 11, 2017. Mr. Gishard?
Present.
Mrs. Link?
Here.
Mr. Schenker?
Here.
Mr. Silva?
Here.
And Mayor Kurtz.
Here. A moment of silence for private reflection. Guest presentations. First, I'd like to read a proclamation we have here for an employee that's been with our township for a long, long time. And the proclamation is for Millie Han Day. Whereas Millie Han has been a lifelong resident of the Township of Hamilton, and she has been employed by the Township since 1982. And whereas the Township of Hamilton is proud to honor Millie Han on the occasion of her retirement from public service, and to commend her for the 35 years of dedication and commitment to our community. Now, therefore, we, the Township Committee of the Township of Hamilton, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim December 19th, 2017 as Millie Han Day. In honor of her devotion to the residents of the Township of Hamilton, we take this opportunity to express our sincere and grateful appreciation for her service. She is beloved by her colleagues and will be sorely missed. We hereby extend to Millie our congratulations on her well-earned retirement and our best wishes for continued success, happiness, and good health in the years to come. Millie couldn't be here tonight, and I'm sure we're going to get this proclamation to her, but I wanted to make sure everybody heard it and understood it. Appreciate that. Thank you. Now we're going to have our ACUA budget presentation. Rick, come on up.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Good to see everyone on the Township Committee. I've already handed out our report card. First thing I wanted to report was there's no proposed tipping fee increase for 2018. So the tipping fee for next year for regular household trash is going to be $62.20. That would be the fourth year in a row. And none of the other tip fees are increasing either. So bulky waste, C&D waste, yard waste, or any of the other, or the gate rate for commercial. So that's good. The top third of this chart is the historical numbers by dollars, tons, and for trash and recycling over the years. And you can see we're projecting for 2017 that your total tip fee costs from the Township of Hamilton, trash brought to us on your behalf, either by your contract collector, waste management, or your public works department. First, it's regular municipal solid waste, 8,523 tons. Other waste, that would be a mixture of bulky waste, other tires and other things Public Works would bring to us, street sweepings and so forth. Total waste, 9,205, and your residential and commercial recycling that we pick up on your behalf from your residents and commercial establishments is up about 40 tons, 2842. The yard waste that we collect on behalf of the township is 1,216. And the recycling rate is up just slightly, 30.6%. That's pretty good when compared to other towns like Hamilton Township. See the tip fees for next year. The special rate is the municipal rate for municipal government, including Hamilton Township. And the bottom chart is a representation, graphic chart of the years since 2002. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions from committee?
The commercial pickups, do they separate at all their recycling, do you know?
You mean commercial establishments?
That you pick up on our
Yeah,
behalf?
yes,
yeah.
we have an aggressive program that you are helping to pay for from all the commercial establishments in Hamilton Township, the malls, the shopping centers, and so forth, and the small stores. So you'll notice blue containers, recycling containers, or dumpsters, or
Rick, how do we rate with the recycling rate with the other municipalities?
pretty good. The highest is Northfield. But Northfield has a large amount of yard waste. You only collect yard waste in the built-up areas of the township and not in the rural, which makes sense. So they collect everything. So their rate is higher. But this is a good recycling rate for a large township like Hamilton Township.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions?
You have a column here that's the total tip fees and savings. What are the savings?
The savings are over the commercial rate. If you were collecting material like in Galloway Township, they don't have municipal trash collection, so the trash is collected privately and is charged at a higher rate. So homeowners end up paying more.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? No. Rick, thanks for once again coming before committee and presenting your budget. We appreciate that.
Okay, thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
All right,
Same to
bye-bye.
you.
Yeah,
Next, we have addition and deletion of late agenda items to be considered for action tonight.
Second.
second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Early public comment on agenda items excluding items listed for public hearings. Mike?
Yes, just one, Jim Link, 4B.
Sure. Come on up, Jim.
Excluding, it's a public hearing.
Yeah, that's a public hearing.
Yes.
You have to wait till it comes up.
Yeah, you would have to come up.
During the public hearing.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, during the public hearing. Can't talk on that. Anyone else?
No one else.
No, that's it. 3, discussions, formal actions may be taken. Public hearing on a tax exemption agreement, Colazzo Holdings LLC, Block 743, Lot 1202, 6016, Main Street. And committee, is there any discussion on this? Are we okay?
There has to be testimony.
Oh, excuse me?
There has to be testimony.
Right.
I see Mike's here.
Yeah, Mike, would you like to come up just to briefly talk to us on this?
Yeah, Mike?
Mike, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Do.
Your name for the record.
Michael Colazzo.
And are you the owner of the property, or are you a principal of Colazzo Holding LLC?
I'm the principal of Colazzo LLC.
And you put an application in for an exemption with respect to improvements to the second floor? Why don't you tell the committee a little bit about the improvements?
We took, obviously it was a pretty expensive project, as a lot of you know. I think overall, from the inception, over $600,000 to build a gym and another $80,000 to finish the upstairs. So, we were in the middle of opening another gym, so we had to stop the project, but we just got it finished and got tenants moved in just last week. So, came out beautiful. I'm not sure if anybody here has seen it, but it's a beautiful facility.
Absolutely.
3-bedroom apartment. We kind of made it like a loft style. We opened it up completely. Brand new plumbing, brand new electric, kitchen, everything's brand new place. So.
And you're making an application for a 5-year exemption with respect to the cost of those improvements on the second floor?
Absolutely.
Okay. And is it part of your overall business plan for this property?
Yes.
So it is commercial in nature?
Yes.
All right. Do you believe that these improvements, as part of your overall plan with respect to that property, would provide gainful employment?
Oh, it has already.
Do you believe it would assist in economic development in the township?
The reason I bought it, I bought into the idea that there was going to be investment in that community. So I bought in the idea, and I went all in, really excited, thinking there was going to be some investment from the township and the infrastructure, and I'm still hopeful that it happens someday.
Do you believe that this would, the overall project would maintain or increase the tax base for the township?
Absolutely. It was going to fall. The building was actually leaning 8 inches. I had to hire a structural engineer to straighten the building out using cables from like bridge cables, and so had I not bought that building would be probably today deemed had to be demolished.
I'm satisfied, Mr. Mayor. Any members of the committee have questions of the witness?
I just want to mention, Mike, that on behalf of myself, and I'm sure the committee agrees, you've done an excellent job, both with the gym and the apartment upstairs, and bringing that business to our community. I'm familiar with the building pretty well, both the apartment and the gym, and you've done some amazing work there, and it's an asset to our town, and I really appreciate that. And the fact, any other committee members have something? Then I'll ask the public for any comment.
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead, Judy.
You are to be congratulated for taking such a risk at, improving our community. And I think I know you'll be successful.
I'd just like to say that, again, of course, I appreciate the improvement to the community also. I did have a question, though. You mentioned that you were expecting some infrastructure improvements from the township. Aside from the crosswalk that you requested at one time, what other infrastructure improvements did you have in mind?
I remember about 4 years ago there was extensive talk, and in fact there were some hearings with some renderings and a lot of excitement of possibilities, and beautifying Main Street, maybe looking at ways to highlight that downtown. I mean, other than me and Domino's, there hasn't really been anything from as far as I can see. I'd like to see it. I think that it's a shame that it truly is and can be more than what it is right now. But it's going to take someone to be courageous and to take the effort. I've seen it done, and it's what I believe was going to happen. But again, I made the investment, and I'm happy with the investment that I made. But I hope that someone at some point buys into that vision as I have. So,
well,
more than talk, meaning action and investment, because there's a lot of people excited about the project, a lot of people happy, and a lot of congratulations. But for me, Joe Osteen, one of my favorite sermons, he says preach often but seldom use words. And I'm a person, when I get behind a project, I put my money where my mouth is. And unfortunately, I wish other people did the same. So it'd be great to see that, because Main Street has the potential. But it's going to take someone with courage to make a strong investment and think long term, beyond an election cycle, beyond, you got to think long term. Somebody's got to be bold and say, you know what, I'm willing to do this for the greater of the good, which is how as an investor, I invest. I invest for the long haul, for the greater of the good, the big picture, not the next 2 years, not. So.
And it's probably going to be more than just somebody. I think would have to be some people.
There's been opportunities, Roddy. There's been a lot of opportunities missed. A lot of investors interested, but we have to do things that don't scare off investors. As an investor, there are things that go on in this township that make investors not want to come to this town. So somebody's got to be bold. Somebody's got to be brave. But unfortunately, we're going to shake people down, nickel and dime them along the way. They're never going to want to come. There's a lot of investors that want to come to this town. But let me tell you something. A lot of them have warned me not to come to this town. I just built a brand new facility in Galloway Township. I've never had a greater experience. I've never even I had nothing to do with Galloway. I knew nothing in Galloway. It was a greater experience. Everything from the permitting to the follow-up, just the whole process was just a simpler from the way I thought we were going to go in this township. And we're not there yet. We're too busy, majoring in the minors. So that's my testimony, and it's unfortunate it's not a positive one, so.
Well, this may not measure up to your expectations. In fact, I'm sure it doesn't. But one of the things the green team is looking at is what can be done to improve the downtown, the streets downtown, the downtown area, to make it more attractive and to make it safer. And certainly, I'm concerned about the comments you made, and any contributions or suggestions you have in that area. You know, I think some of us would like to hear it.
Plenty, so I'm just gonna do what I do, so it is what it is.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Thank you. This is a public hearing still. Is there any members of the public who would wish to comment?
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain. Item B, a resolution approving request for a 5-year tax exemption in the Historic District for renovation of second-floor apartment above Anytime Fitness, Block 743, Lot 12.02.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rita?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtz?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Thank you. 4A, public hearing, adoption of ordinances. A, ordinance 1866-2017, an ordinance authorizing the sale of lots 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 in Block 395 as shown on the tax map of the Township of Hamilton, and granting to the owner or owners of said property contiguous to the same the right of refusal to purchase such land in the Township of Hamilton, County of Atlantic, and State of New Jersey. Mike, do you have anything on this?
Yes, this is 6853 Melvin Newton Boulevard,
Right,
and the minimum bid's $300.
okay. Committee, what's your pleasure?
So moved. I'll move the ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Public hearing.
Mr. Shanker?
I'm sorry.
You have to open it up to the public.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Hold on, Rita, I didn't open it up. Excuse me. Is there anyone in the public who would wish to comment on this item?
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Against? Abstain? Now, Rita, thank you. You can just finish the roll call.
Okay. Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Kurtz?
Yes.
All yes and adopted.
Okay. And now we have 4B. Ordinance number 1867-2017, an ordinance of the Township of Hamilton, County of Atlantic, repealing political contribution limit ordinances 1636-2008. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the public who would wish to speak? Jim, come on up.
Thank you very much. Jim Link, 676 Park Road and 763 Park Road. I just thought I'd cover all the bases with signing up, but thank you for your indulgence. But committee, first of all, allow me to express my wishes to everybody for a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and prosperous as well. Congratulations to you, John, on your reelection in November.
Thank you.
I haven't had a chance to say so, but all the best. You've done a great job, and I'm sure you'll continue doing that as well. As for the resolution or the ordinance itself, I've had some time to think, and I thought perhaps I'd reconsider. I mean, just for obvious reasons, and for whatever innuendo there may be, I figured I'm not going to get into it. It's not worth it. So please, I beg your pardon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Is there anyone else in the public who would wish to speak? Harry, come on up.
Hi, my name's Harry Rogers, 1069 Morningside Drive. The ordinance do away with the political contribution limit, something that I was, let's start again. When this ordinance was first introduced, I was a vocal and strong proponent of the ordinance because I really thought it was going to bring election matters back into the township. I was really naive. I have seen in subsequent years that all it does is allow large contributions from outside the township to flood in, and it has distorted the voice of the people here in Hamilton Township. Like I said, I was a very strong proponent. To me, it made good ethical sense, but it makes very little practical sense because, like I said, the campaign money, and campaigns need money to exist, but the imbalance that was caused by this particular ordinance I believe is detrimental to all the township's residents. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Harry. Is there anyone else in the public who would wish to comment on this item?
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstain. We're looking for a motion to adopt.
I'll move that ordinance 1867, 2017, an ordinance of the Township of Hamilton, County of Atlantic, repealing the political contribution limit on ordinance 1636, 2008.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Bouchard?
Yes, if I just might comment, the ordinance would seem to make a lot of sense, but if it's not working, there's no point in having laws that don't work on the books, so that's why I'm voting yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes, this ordinance was there since 2008, which is 10 years, so during that period of time, Democrats have struggled with it. And I think that it should just rely on what the state has to say and guide us on our contributions. I approve it.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
I'm one of the original members 10 years ago that voted to put this ordinance in. And I agree with you, Mr. Rogers. One of the things that's been most discouraging is I've always used to believe that all politics was local. It isn't anymore. I think we've witnessed it over time and how it's been taken out of the local hands, especially when you watch out-of-county contributors trying to control our elections. I think what I've witnessed in the last election and the last several that I've been through, they've gotten to a point where it's not even pleasurable to be part of it anymore because they've stooped to all times lows, and all of this out-of-county money has distorted the whole image and the image of trust of local officials. When this ordinance was originally introduced, it was part of the open and honest government movement, and obviously over time it didn't prove to be what it was supposed to be. So I'm still in favor now of having the state limits and adhered to, and that's one of the reasons why we've pushed to repeal this ordinance, and my vote is yes.
Mayor Kurtz?
I agree with Roger and Harry Rogers on this, and I vote yes.
All yes and adopted.
Introduction of ordinances. We have none, so we're going to move on to awards of bids, contracts, and change orders. Resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2018 Dodge Charger from Harmon Dodge from the Cranford Co-op, number 47 CCP CPS, total purchase price $26,246. Chief, could I ask you just to maybe elaborate on the use of the vehicle and how we...
Yes, this vehicle's a replacement vehicle,
Okay.
and it's going to be used in patrol as a patrol vehicle. We removed a number of vehicles from our fleet this year that we still have to backfill, and as you know, we added 3 positions to help keep up with the call volume, so we definitely need this vehicle.
Great, thank you very much, I appreciate that.
Can I ask you a question,
Sure.
Chief? I asked the administrator, why Dodge Chargers? They seem to be extremely popular. What is it?
Speed car.
No, speed is irrelevant at this point, as most folks know. Pursuits in New Jersey are something that doesn't happen. If it does, things have gone horribly wrong. There are very few vehicles out there now that are police package vehicles. It's either a Caprice or the Dodge, and we usually have a committee in the police department. We get together and they evaluate the vehicles, and that was assessed to be the best vehicle for our purposes at this point. That's really the only reason.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, committee?
Mayor, I move the resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2018 Dodge Charger from Caravan Dodge from the Cranford Co-op contract number 47.
I'll second it. Oops.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, could we get a roll call, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Kurtz?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Consent agenda. I'm going to ask to pull item Q, and we'll do that separate vote on that. So we're looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through P and R and S off of the late agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain. Item Q, approve extended hours for Young Skating Center from December 31st, 2017 at 8 o'clock p.m. to January 1st, 2018 at 1:30 a.m. for their annual New Year's celebration.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Judy, you were going to abstain?
Abstain.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Item 8, personnel. Appoint Stacy Wellington as Deputy Chief Financial Officer at $65,000 annually with a $5,000 increase upon CMFO certification effective 12/19/17. This appointment is contingent upon receiving CMFO certification within 18 months of appointment.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, could we have a roll call?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Kurtz?
Yes.
Pleasure.
All yes and adopted.
Congratulations, Stacy.
Yes.
All right.
Hard-working lady.
8B, authorization to advertise for an AP purchasing personnel.
The necessary motion.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We can do this one all in favor. Do we need a vote? Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against, abstain. C, resolution to appoint Joyce Thurlow as Clerk 1 in the Tax Collector's Office at $28,998.64 annually, effective 12/21/17. Employment is contingent upon successful physical and background check.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Rita?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Kurtz?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
D, resolution to appoint zoning board member to fill the unexpired term of Carl Patali, term ending 12/31/20.
Mayor, I move the name of Michael Graff.
Okay.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Rita?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Kurtz?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Number 9, approvals. Minutes of December 4th, 2017, regular meeting.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Rita?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Abstain.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Kurtz?
Yes.
4 yes, 1
B,
abstention.
payrolls and bills. Bill list totaling $2,018,826.41.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Rita, could we get a roll call, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Shanker?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Kurtz?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Administrator?
Nothing to add to the written report.
Nothing to add. Bob?
I have nothing,
Wow.
Okay.
which is a very good thing for our township.
Yes.
I know our engineer has
Yeah,
something to
because-
report.
Nothing to add to my
report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
But before you go on, though, I congratulate you on getting the road program done so quickly.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
The road work was outstanding, and especially the one in Denenhauer Lane. We had to shut that road down because it was the only one way in, one way out,
Thank you. We had a lot of
but positive things about it.
cooperation with the contractor. They did a really conscientious job. They stayed with it. They didn't leave the job. And also the police department was extremely helpful with traffic control. They were right there on the spot with input on traffic control. So it was a team effort.
Very good.
Anything else?
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Question?
Go ahead.
So where do we stand on the road program?
There's some cleanup items. We're not ready to final them out, but they are done with the paving, all the paving. They have to do some driveways, some areas that they have to, some cracked areas and things that they have to repair, which is normal. They also have to do some backfill around some of the edges. But basically, it's just cleanup items, and then we can final them out.
So was Sony Avenue, what is Sony Avenue?
Sony.
That was taken
Yes.
care of?
Yes.
It's the only road we own in there.
Okay.
Do you have-
Township committee members, I'll go first. I was going to bring this up anyway and comment, Kevin, on this. This year, we completed our road program, and it looks like it's on time and on budget, possibly under budget because we haven't got all the numbers back yet. But hopefully we can report that too. So again, Kevin, thank you for your work on this. I'm getting a lot of calls from residents that are really pleased that this has happened. A very ecstatic gentleman out on Sunny Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
Very happy.
Where we stand now, unless we add anything, we will finish it under budget.
Wow.
Great.
I'd also like to comment that this year we are continuing to make progress with our abandoned and deteriorating properties thanks to the hard work of our Property Maintenance Appeals Board. We've done some good work there. It looks like we'll hopefully be seeing something moving with the two properties on 3rd Street and, is it 3rd? 7th Street. And then we're looking into getting some more properties before the Property Maintenance Appeals Board and move on them also. So it's a slow process sometimes to check into the status of the properties and what we actually have to do to make those eyesores go away or correct them. But I think the Property Maintenance Appeals Board is on the right step in making that happen. Also this year, I've had the pleasure of welcoming many new businesses to our township, from the main street all the way out to the Black Horse Pike corridor. It's an exciting part of the mayor's job, cutting ribbons at those locations, talking with the owners, discussing with them about how they, what prompted them to come to our township and do business. And I've heard a lot of encouraging remarks. It's really good. The one of them that opened up recently was the Liquor Mart down on Route 40 there, and the gentleman from the financing department that financed the project was there. And I got talking with him, not necessarily about the financing for that particular project, but the fact that he felt that financing is opening up, particularly in the field of equipment, large equipment, and what's needed to do construction projects like that, the financing for those items. And he said that's encouraging, he feels, for any township or town that people are looking into getting equipment to continue to move on the jobs that some of them have been sitting there with planning board approval, shovel ready, but just didn't have the necessary financing to make it happen. And now that's starting to show through a little bit, and it's certainly welcomed. Also, in a few days, hopefully, we will be cutting the ribbon on the new bathrooms at Underhill Park. I want to give a big thanks out to Steve Philippone for spearheading that project. Art Schenker, too. We've met out there many times, and it's something that's needed, really needed. And to see that they've got that project now almost to its completion, we're very pleased with that. So is the MLAA and the sports groups. I think it'll make a big difference on the field without the porta potties that you had there normally. And they'll be able to utilize the old bathrooms for some additional storage for some of the sport groups, which has been an issue. So I think that's really a plus. So I'm really thrilled about that. And that's all I have. Roger?
Well, I think you're being modest, Mayor, because if most of you noticed that the work on Main Street has been shut down due to the efforts of the mayor. He told them that the downtown merchants deserve better than having a street that's shut off during the day, and that people are finding it very difficult to get in and out of town. And also, all the time and effort spent in decorating the park. People could come in and see the beautiful park lit up. And I think, John, you deserve a lot of credit for getting that thing, because now, what is it, the work will resume after the first of the year?
Somewhere around January 4th. I tried to make arrangements to have the eastbound lane open also, but it was a safety issue. I talked with the gentleman in Trenton and also the project manager on site, and they have heavy steel plates covering ditches that are already excavated, exposing laterals going into the buildings, and it just wasn't possible to open that eastbound lane. But you can already see by them agreeing to close to open the westbound lane, that has alleviated the traffic that was headed out River Road, and it's a little easier now to come up Main Street, go down Farragut, and get out onto River Road, because most of the traffic now is not being detoured down there. It's still a little bit of an issue at rush hour, but it was that way all the time. So it's just nice to be able to see, at least for the Christmas holiday, that the merchants can enjoy coming down Main Street, and people can see the park and get through to the other side of Main Street and out to Weymouth Road and make those connections without taking the River Road detour. So I thought it was something that needed to be done, and I actually kind of thought it was pie in the sky when I asked the guy. And I was very surprised when he called me back and said, they'll be done 5 o'clock tonight. We're closing it down. So I'm glad it worked out. It's something that everybody has a different stake in. Birch's Communications had a little different feeling on the process because he had big tractor trailers unloading. But I wasn't able to get them to commit to a end date. And without the end date, I pushed more for the opening the road up for the holiday because I couldn't get the end date. So now they're saying on January 4th, weather permitting, it looks like about 7 or 8 days' work, and they'll be completed. So I think that's good news. Roger, anything else?
Yeah, I have more. I hope everybody read the Sunday Press, the front page, about the foreclosure list, that the list is going down. I know when we open up the paper every Monday and we still see the classified section, I always had 15, 18 pages, but it looks like the number's down, and I think that's indicative of the fact that things are starting to level out and we're starting to see improvement. I know a lot's been going on the last month or so in town. We had 40, we had 50 being paved. It's driven people crazy, and just trying to move around this township without the work going on has gotten difficult. But just want to say a few words about Mike Colazzo and his business endeavors. I had an opportunity to go over to his grand opening of his newest venture in Galloway, and he's correct. He puts his heart and soul into all his business ventures, and every one of the places that he opens up is first class. And I think it's a step above many of the others, and I think that's a great compliment to him and his family and their whole business approach to doing things. It's interesting. I'm just finishing up my 10th year on committee, and I was thinking about it the other day, and I don't know if people keep track of it, but I've never missed a meeting here. And I think what happens is there's so much going on. In order to stay on top of things, you've got to be abreast of things. And I feel a change in our community. I know good things are going to happen. I'm looking for 2018 to be a year of a lot of good things happening in our township, with new things coming to the forefront. And John, I know this is your last meeting sitting as mayor, but having sat that seat a few times myself, I just want to compliment you on your efforts this year and the work that you've done. You certainly have set that seat very well, and you've been credit to our township, and I personally thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you.
That's it, Mayor.
Art?
Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate your comments about the bathrooms that are going to be finished soon, which is always a plus. It's just a continuing effort to make our ballparks better. Underhill Park has been there for a lot of years. takes a lot of effort to keep them in the shape that they're in, and we'd like to see them get better and better. So we're going to continue to work on that to make the ballparks better for all the kids. On what Roger said about the foreclosures, we do have a lot happening in Atlantic City, which definitely reflects on what we have happening here. The Rebels talking about possibly opening in 18. Hard Rock is going to open up in 18. It's going to create jobs. Creates jobs. A lot of these houses that are in foreclosure will be bought up, which is, a positive thing. We can see it swing the other way for a little while, and hopefully it'll swing the other way permanently. So we'll see what happens, but it's a good sign. People are looking to invest in Atlantic City again, and Atlantic City, affected us when it came up the first time, when they got all the way up to 13 casinos. It made us build more schools because we had more people, build more facilities, and to watch it decline really affected not just this township, but all the towns in the county. And you're all familiar with the battle between the county and the city recently. So seeing this happen is a positive. I think 2018 is going to be a much better year. The one other thing I'd like to comment on is the road in front that John talked about, where they ripped up our main street that had just been freshly paved. This always seems to be the way it is. You pave a road, somebody will find a reason why to rip it up. And we had in our packet here, and I had conversations with Assemblyman Chris Brown, soon to be Senator Chris Brown, about, don't leave us out in the cold here when they put this back together, that we need this to be the way it was when they started tearing it up. So he sent a letter that I have here to encourage, and he said he would stay on this, that when they're complete the project, that the project will be as it was when they started. So believe me, I will keep him to his word, and we will keep pushing for that to happen, because for the first time in a long time, Main Street was really started to look up. The street was so much nicer. I mean, you go down there without hitting the bumps and all. Now you're on that road, and it's not in good shape. But hopefully we'll be able to turn it around, get the project done with the efforts from the mayor, and be able to have a nice clean sheet of asphalt for at least, I don't know, a week or two. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Art. Judy?
First of all, I'd like to apologize for missing the meeting last December 4th. I was asked by the family of John Charlton to have a memorial service at the skating center, since his life was totally surrounded about roller skating and competing and so on and so forth. It was his love. So I agreed to that and to help fundraise, because John was the breadwinner for the whole family. He just buried his father, his mother. He relocated on 6th Street and was the person who paid all the bills. And so they really could not afford to do a regular type funeral. So the next thing was a memorial service. And so I think we had at least 75 to 100 people there. And I had asked Reverend Ash to do a sermon, and he chose the Good Samaritan, the parable. And I don't think there was a dry eye in the audience, because although he lost his life because he was a Good Samaritan, the thing is we don't want to not be Good Samaritans in different ways, and at least in my opinion anyway. So Reverend Ash did an unbelievable job. And my husband read the comments of the mother, and his actions just spoke for his whole existence. That's how he was. He was truly a good Samaritan. So I ask for your apologies I apologize for not being here. But I did go to the, we always have a meeting with Mike going over the agenda. So I was fully aware what was on the agenda. I think we're really heading in a very positive direction. I can see it in our business. And I was told by the newly elected freeholder, Karen Fitzpatrick, that she's on the budget committee. And she is saying that there are almost 9,000 jobs going to be available with these two big projects. And the people who deserted their homes, or not deserted, but left their homes for foreclosure, we need the people to come back and buy those homes, as stated already. And I think we will see that happening, which is great. So I would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you would like to come over and enjoy I'm not offering a party, but if you'd like to stop by our house and say hello, not a problem. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Judy. Rodney?
I'm really happy to hear all the positive news. I guess I've seen some positive developments also. Let's hope it continues. One of I happen to notice in our package a letter from the executive director, the county executive director, concerning marijuana laws, and the fact that at least this administration has said, or the incoming administration has said, and there are a lot of people pushing to have marijuana legalized within the first 100 days, and some people are pushing for earlier. And apparently, if it does go, and I myself, I don't think we need another hallucinogenic, is that the word? But I think it's going to happen. And apparently townships can either participate in any revenues that come from this or not participate. And so I guess our township has to make that decision. And apparently it has to be done reasonably soon, within 100 days. So that's something for us to think about. And I was surprised to find that we have interest in the township and actually growing marijuana. So maybe that's another business opportunity for somebody. But it's something that we ought to think about. Regarding the assemblyman, our new assemblyman, Armada, one of the things he mentioned is that he's from Buena Vista, and they have a bus service over there. They were able to get bus service, which they found to be very helpful, and he's indicated a willingness to work with us to see if we can establish the same. So it's something to think about, and if any of you have any recommendations there, I'd be happy to hear it. And the assemblyman would be happy, or the incoming assemblyman would be happy to hear about it. I heard Mike Colanza's comments, and I know he said he's made them before, but I'm still interested in what was the big difference between the reception he got in Galloway and the reception he got here. So I'd like to follow up on that anyway. Aside from that, I'd like to wish everybody a happy holiday. Don't be too hard on yourself for the New Year's resolution, and have a healthy holiday and enjoy your family. Thank you.
Thank you, Rodney. We'd like to open up for public comment now. Does anybody in the public like to speak? No?
Close the public portion.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? We're going to adjourn to executive session now, but before we do, just my comment to the public. Please take time this holiday to enjoy your family, your friends, and your God. And have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday. Thank you very much. We're now reconvened in a public session. And could I ask, would you mind reading that once again into the record, and we were going to take a vote?
Okay. Be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Hamilton that Michael Hughes is terminated effective January 1st, 2018.
Okay, committee?
Do you want to move that?
Yeah, I want to move.
I'll move the resolution as stated.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Should we take a roll call on that? Yeah, let's have a roll call, Rita.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Schenker?
Unfortunately, yes.
Mr. Silva?
Same, yes.
And Mayor Kurtz?
Same thing, unfortunately, yes, yes.
All yes and carried.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.